Good afternoon, East Texas. I'm Caleb Mooney, and this is the TylerPaper.com Afternoon News Update. Our Dave Barry spent most of the holiday weekend in Washington, D.C. with a group of local military veterans, the Berkshire's Heroes. He sat down earlier today with managing editor Brian Pearson to recap the trip.
Hello, this is Brian Pearson, managing editor of the Tyler Morning Telegraph, and with me is Dave Barry, who just returned from his most recent Heroes flight. And tell us a little bit about what you saw up there in D.C. with the World War II veterans.
Well, let me tell you first about the Heroes flight. It's the Berkshire Super One Foods Heroes flights, and they've done 6 of these. And so I've been fortunate to go on 3 of them. And basically, they take about 30 World War II veterans. People apply, and they're accepted, and they pay them. It's free, no charge for anything. And the Berkshire's people treat them to 2 to 3 days, in this case 3 days of exciting times, touring the monuments. You see all the national monuments. You go on a tour of the Air and Space Museum. We had a 3-hour tour of the Capitol building hosted by Louis Gohmert, who gave a great historical tour and history lesson. It's an amazing time.
So, based on what you saw from the veterans, what do you think the experience was like for them? I imagine it would be pretty emotional.
It's very emotional, and many of them, all of them, will tell you it's a trip of a lifetime. They've never done anything like this. When you talk to them, they say whether their lifetime is short or long, this memory will last forever. So.
Do a lot of them feel like they're finally getting recognition for the service that they did for our country long ago?
Yes. I've never met a veteran who got a ticker tape parade. Most veterans came home alone. They came home maybe with some of the guys they served with, but when they got off the ship, they got a train ticket home and pretty much came back home alone. And I think they've been recognized, they've been appreciated, but most of them kept quiet about their experiences. They didn't want to talk about it. They just blended back into society, put their heads down, went to work, led great lives. And this is an opportunity for them to say, I did something pretty special, and they're being recognized. There's some amazing moments in Washington. One of the most amazing is the arrival. The plane comes in, the fire department puts 2 trucks out on the runway, and they give them an arch, a water arch that the plane drives underneath. It's amazing. And then when they get off at Reagan, the entire airport from one end to the other erupts in applause and cheers as they get off the plane.
That's an amazing undertaking.
It's amazing. The hero there's another group called the Honor Flight. Yeah, the Heroes Flight is not associated with the Honor Flight, but Honor Flight brings in veterans from all over different states, different cities, and it's a very organized national organization. Well, Berkshire's is modeled after that, but Berkshire's pays for the whole thing by themselves. And but the Honor Flight people meet the Berkshire's flight at the airport, and it's an amazing experience from one end to the other.
Now, on a personal level, you are a Vietnam War veteran, and so to a certain degree you can relate to a lot of what they're going through. What was it like for you personally to see it through their eyes, and then what you were seeing? You got to see the Vietnam War Memorial. It's
emotional for me. I've always thought that my trip to the granddaddy of all the memorials, that the one they really go to see is the World War II Memorial. And they've never seen it. It was only dedicated in 2004. I've been to the Vietnam Wall 6, 7 times. I get emotional every time I go. They get emotional at all of them. It's just, I think veterans are the same no matter what war you served in, no matter whether you repaired a plane, drove a tank, flew a bomber, or rode a desk in Washington. I mean, all veterans have this bond. And one of the World War II veterans said his most poignant place, the place that meant the most to him, was the Vietnam Wall. And he said, it's the one monument with all the names on it. And he says it brings back to you the devastation that war brings. And so the Korean monument struck some as being one that they stood and looked at the the images of the men on the wall, the soldiers, the statues walking up the hill toward the flag. Another said he broke down in tears in the Lincoln Memorial. And it's all wonderful.
Okay, and so if you want to check out his story, then look for it on tylerpaper.com. I'm sure it's still there for viewing, and you've got a video that's going to be put up on our website.
We'll have that video put together pretty quickly.
Okay, well, check it out. Did you have anything else?
No, I think I just want to say thank you to Brookshires. They've allowed me to go and report on this trip 3 times. I love it. It's a great opportunity. It is a lot of work, and the Brookshires folks, they've got a core of people that they do every one of these trips. They've got others that they bring in, their store managers. It's not just a Tyler trip, it's an all East Texas, even some of their stores in Louisiana. It's one of those things that they've done. I think the plan is they're going to keep on doing it. They've got people on their waiting list. In the story, there's a number to call if you want to be considered, but I'm sure they can, if you're a World War II veteran, want to go on this trip, get in touch with somebody at the Brookshires, one of the stores, and they will make sure that you get on the list.
Okay, well, be sure to check out our video on tylerpaper.com.
Here's your forecast from CBS 19.
Good afternoon. Another typical summer-like day outside here in the latter part of spring, and as we go through the rest of the afternoon, you'll notice off to the west a few showers and thunderstorms are possible, and as we get into the nighttime hours, we do see a formation headed in our direction here, especially around 1 o'clock in the morning. You might be seeing some rain move into the western sections of the area, but that moves on through pretty quickly as we go into the overnight hours. By 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll be mostly cloudy and should have temperatures in the mid-70s. Up to noontime and the early part of the afternoon, have a good bit of sunshine. We'll warm back up into the 80s. 76 degrees expected at 8 o'clock in the morning. By noon, 84, 87 at 5 o'clock. It will be windy. We'll have a south wind around that 15 mile per hour range, but gusting up to 25 miles per hour. And then as you look ahead to Friday, a 20% chance of more showers and thunderstorms. Increase that to 30% on Saturday, 40% on Sunday before we get a break from the rain early next week.
Have a great rest of your Wednesday.